and welcome back to more The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. So last time we finished up Eagle's Tower and saved Marin across that bridge, and this time we are heading towards our final dungeon. So, really quickly we can make a quick stop into this room and grab a piece of heart. On the subject of collectibles, something I actually want to bring up is, the Seashell from before. I thought I got an extra Seashell, and the reason was the guide I was using talked about getting a Seashell for catching a blooper. I got the Seashell from catching Old Baron instead. I have a feeling it has to do with how big the blooper was, like it was too small to actually get the Seashell, and because there was a small blooper and a big blooper in that pond at one time, so we could have gotten the size requirement anyway. But instead we ended up getting it from Old Baron, and thus that's why I thought I had an extra, because I thought I got one for both the blooper, ow, and Old Baron. This section is mean. I'm losing so many hearts from just this section alone. Alright, so in here is a secret Seashell. So that should be our 48th secret Seashell. In here is a secret passageway, and in here we have a purple rupee, so not too shabby. Inside here we have another very familiar looking cave, and let's see what happens this time. Hey kid, you woke me up from a fine nap. Thanks a lot, but now I'll get my revenge. Are you ready? Okay, I'll let you carry more bombs. Are you ready? Okay, I'll let you carry more bombs. Are you ready? You deserve it. Now look at all the junk you have to carry. Take care. See you again. I like how even if you say no, you're not ready, and you don't have any other options, he'll just repeat the options. With that being collected, we have every inventory upgrade, so we have basically max inventory. We can also reflect spears now with the mirror shield, so that's cool. Over here we have a piece of heart. We only have one more regular piece of heart to go, which is pretty exciting actually, that we're this far along in our adventure, but it's also sad to see it end. Like I said before, this is not the longest Zelda game by a long shot. I feel like there's a pun in there, totally accidentally. This game is pretty breezy. It doesn't overstay its welcome, which I kinda like. But yeah, it is definitely on the shorter side compared to other games in the series. Here we have a warp to the western Tal Mountains. The reason I got hit there was I was literally second guessing what button to push. I was like, wait, what button is sword? Is it Y or is it B? Because it keeps changing in different games. So yeah, in some games, obviously Y is your attack button, in other games is B, so I had this brief moment of like, wait, bombs are on B, so what is attack? One last hint house. Sorry, O'Ryra, we can do this without hints. 2 pterodactyls. And you know what? Thinking about this is giving me Chrono Trigger vibes. Also, I was mistaken about not using the frog song ever again. We have a mini-boss in the form of an actual dungeon entrance, which I think is actually a really cool concept. So you're supposed to wait until it charges, and then drop a bomb. We don't have to do that. In fact, we can probably break this fight even further, now that I think about it. With bomb arrows. Yeah, that completely trivializes this fight. Now that its head is open to attacks, we just attack it. I'm not too concerned about hearts, clearly. because of how I'm just going so gung-ho with this fight and not worrying about health whatsoever. And I have my reasons, and it should be pretty obvious by now what my reasons are. Yep, mini-bosses drop fairies, so we don't have to worry. Alright, now it's time for our final dungeon. Turtle Rock. Classic dungeon. It's in a lot of Zelda games. Bad timing on that one. I'm not sure how good spin attacks are on this enemy, but it seems to be effective. And it splits into two little versions. We don't actually have to defeat those. You only need to defeat the big version. The little variants will fly away. And the pattern of this dungeon is returning mini-bosses. So, with our upgraded gear, these mini-bosses are not anything to write home about. They're pretty easy. Another gimmick in Turtle Rock is these pushable platforms. Once you interact with them, you can actually control their directions, and by filling in all of the gaps, we actually get a red rupee. Nothing too special. But down here, we get something even more special. A purple rupee! Slightly more special. And, you know what I'm gonna say, in the next room we get a mini-boss, so I guess that counts as something even more special. Again, these go down so easily with the current setup we have. It's kind of sad, actually, like, oh, it's so much easier now. In this room, we have another one of these enemies. Ow, no more sword beams for us. And once we defeat it, I want to show off this time that if you let the little small versions fly away, you still get the reward. For example, doors opening, keys dropping, chests appearing. So you don't really need to fight them. Kinda makes it anticlimactic. Oh, good timing. Here we have another one of these little black hole enemies. I'm not even sure if you can call it an enemy or more of a hazard. Either way, Compass. And I want to test something. Can I push this block? I don't know if you can. So I want to see if it's possible. It's not, so we have to go around very precariously around this black hole, effectively. Full disclosure, this dungeon will not be blind. I ended up doing a failed recording. It was failed because I used a key in a really bad spot, and I legitimately reached a point where I could not figure out what the intended path was. It was really bad, and so I ended up deciding I'm just gonna scrap this recording. This is really unfortunate. I'm gonna point out where I went wrong. This is a mistake. Yep. Again, it's not like I don't have, like, what, almost full health, so it doesn't matter too much, but still. You don't need to take a hit there. So this is like a one-way path. I feel like these are supposed to be like Potaboos from Mario. I forgot I was gonna be placed on the lower ledge, and I thus ran straight into the lava. Yeah, I feel like these are supposed to be Potaboos. I don't have any concrete proof of that, but this game has so many Mario enemies, I feel like it's not too far-fetched to assume that. Stone Beak. And another returning mini-boss. So I feel like this one cannot be broken as badly as the others. I don't know if the level 2 power bracelet makes this easier, or if it always just took apparently 4 hits. Again, I legitimately don't remember this fight well enough to say with any concrete certainty that that's the case. Up here we have a path. I'm going to opt to go left though, because I'm curious to see what's over here. So again, another one of these little push block puzzles. I screwed it up. Sometimes it doesn't take inputs well. I feel like this would be a lot easier with a D-pad than an analog stick, because sometimes it misreads inputs really badly. I'm surprised, even in the like failed recording, that didn't happen, so I'm glad I got to show off at least once. I feel like I was holding the direction and it just did not take. In here we have a chest. I did not think I was gonna clear the lava. And we have an enemy, and a bunch of little things down here. Voila, we have another path. This goes to apparently nothing. No keys at least. This goes to a stairway though. If I'm not mistaken, this connects somewhere over here. Yeah, this connects over there, I think. So if you basically want a shortcut back, I think you can take this. I don't want to go that direction. I'm a little sad that this isn't gonna be blind, but I'm also okay with it, so we don't have to spend a million years in this dungeon. So kind of mixed feelings on the fact that this won't be blind. We're almost at the end of the game, by the way. I'm gonna repeat this towards the end, but I'm planning to not do any side content, or very much side content for a little bit after this. The reason being that I don't think it would be really good for the flow of the series to randomly drop everything and then do like the Dungeon Maker. So after we finish this dungeon, I think we're gonna basically make a beeline for the end game. So that's gonna be cool. I really love this game, if it wasn't already apparent. I think it's a fantastic game. Before I continue this thought, this is the key where I feel like I soft-locked myself by using a small key there, because I couldn't get enough keys in this upper route without using a key elsewhere. So just a heads up, don't use the key there. That's a mistake. Use the key in a room to the left up here. The key is generous enough to land on a spot that it won't break, so that's nice. In this next room, we have two more of these bomb-eating enemies. We don't want to defeat them. If you use an owl statue, it will tell you that you need to defeat an enemy from an upper level. Or a higher place is I think how they phrase it. We're not gonna get this chest because it's a one-way path. If you drop down, you have to go all the way around. This loops back, I think, here. And that's just one of those revival medicines, which we can't carry more than one anyway. So it's just, we might as well just go this way. There's the boss door. And here we have, an outer area. This is, our last regular piece of heart. And this is our last warp. I didn't actually finish my thought from earlier. The look of Turtle Rock, I guess that's... It's like, is that really a turtle? It looked more like a serpent. But like the outer look of Turtle Rock, when the turtle enemy, I guess, was sitting there, and also the two pterodactyls around it kind of gave me Chrono Trigger vibes. I don't know if that's just me, but that's the impression I got from that. So now that we're on the upper level, we can freely take out these enemies. I threw it too late. This is not the easiest puzzle, so if you don't have the bomb upgrade, you might have a rough time here. This is obviously a point where a lot of people get stuck on this dungeon. Good throw there. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people can get stuck here because it's like, it's not necessarily intuitive having to do this from an upper level. I'm using so many bombs this time. It has to go left thanks to the other one being trapped, so that was just really good positioning that worked in my favor. Yeah, being stuck in the corner was actually really convenient for me, at least. Alright. Yeah, I really am enjoying this playthrough a ton. I'm obviously probably gonna save more thoughts for the end. But yeah, it's been fun going back, and it's actually more fun than I thought it would be. Again, I didn't know how fun this would be for a playthrough. I feel like now that we've gone past the worst of it is also helping. The worst of it in this case being Eagle Tower, or Eagle's Tower. I kind of keep going back and forth if I say Eagle or Eagles. Eagle's Tower is literally the toughest dungeon in the game for me. It's not even as complicated as this, but the two, but like the multi-layered nature of it makes it really complicated for me, and I always get super turned around. And I'm not sure even why. But yeah, just having to flick the switches constantly makes it much harder than it otherwise would be. So here's a room that has very little purpose. This is basically just to restock items, in case you need more arrows or bombs for whatever reason. I wonder if you could actually hit the switch by just jumping and timing a bow. Probably. Again, it's weird having a working shield, because in most playthroughs of this game I like never shield, because it's so cumbersome in the original. Over here we have a room we can't do anything in, because we don't have the dungeon item, so we need to go around. It feels weird doing this, like, again, because this isn't technically blind. Because of, yeah, doing this already in a failed recording, it feels weird going from, like, completely fumbling through a dungeon to, like, just zooming through the hardest dungeon of the game. I am proud of myself for doing Eagle's Tower without directly looking at a guide. Like I said, I even had a guide open, and, like, I randomly, like, scrolled down and it got to the point with the beak, the stone beak, and I looked at the guide and I was like, wow, I did not do this the intended, or the efficient way at all. Alright, so with that being collected, where do we go from here? We have 3 keys, so I think we need to make our way to this block down there. This is going way faster than I thought it would, if I'm being totally honest, even compared to the first playthrough where I knew generally what I was doing. This is going pretty, or actually the second playthrough. I actually did 2 failed recordings. So yeah, the second one I kind of breezed through this, and I'm going even faster through it this time, which is actually a really good feeling. I'm pretty sure whenever I try to pick up this game in, you know, a year from now, I'll be completely lost all over again, because, remembering Eagle's Tower is not something I can do. Even if I had practiced it, I probably would have still flubbed it up quite a bit. With that being said, we're gonna call it here, and we will probably be able to finish up the dungeon next time, because we're well over halfway through it. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for more The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening.